प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी कल से साल की अपनी पहली विदेश यात्रा पर रवाना होंगे। अपनी 3 दिवसीय इस यात्रा में वह यूरोप के अपने 3 सहयोगी देशों जर्मनी, फ्रांस और डेनमार्क के नेताओं, भारतीय समुदाय और व्यापारियों से मुलाकात करेंगे। प्रधानमंत्री की इस यात्रा के दौरान देश के कई मंत्री भी साथ रहेंगे। विदेश सचिव विनय क्वात्रा द्वारा इस संबंध में एक प्रेस वार्ता को आज संबोधित किया गया।
As you are all aware, Prime Minister will be leaving on a visit to Europe from tomorrow. He'll be traveling to Germany, Denmark, and France for bilateral as well as multilateral engagements. Prime Minister's 3-day, 3-nation tour has intense schedule with substantial and comprehensive agenda, including wide-ranging interaction with the political leadership of these countries, Indian diaspora, and the top industrialists and CEOs. Let me first begin with Germany, which is the first destination. As you all know, Germany also holds the presidency of G7. On May 2nd, tomorrow, Prime Minister will co-host with German Chancellor Excellency Olaf Scholz the 6th edition of India-Germany Intergovernmental Consultations, IGC, in Berlin. This will be Prime Minister's first meeting with Chancellor Scholz after he assumed office last December. You would recall that Prime Minister's first telephone call with a foreign leader in 2022 was with Chancellor Scholz. The meeting between the two leaders would provide an excellent platform not only to strengthen the existing multifaceted bilateral partnership, but would also shape and develop an ambitious agenda of cooperation for the months and years ahead between India and Germany, including in the field of development partnership, green agenda, trade investment linkages, and the overall strategic partnership. Let me briefly touch upon the Intergovernmental Consultation Mechanism, whose 6th meeting would be held tomorrow. This is a unique mechanism which brings together several ministers and officials from both sides to engage in bilateral discussions, culminating in a plenary session which is chaired by the two leaders to review, take stock, and assess the cooperation between the two countries across a range of areas, as also to identify fresh areas of partnership. In the plenary session of the IGC, the focus on cooperation is along 3 strands principally. First, foreign affairs and security. 2, economic, financial policy, scientific and social exchange. And 3, climate, environment, sustainable development, and energy. During the IGC, the Prime Minister would be assisted by senior ministers from Government of India, including Finance Minister, External Affairs Minister, and Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences. I must mention here that these ministers would also have a separate and substantive program of their own, besides assisting the Honorable Prime Minister in the deliberations of the IGC. IGC would then be followed by a high-level roundtable where Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Scholz would interact with the top CEOs of both the countries. On May 3, after concluding the German leg, Prime Minister will travel to Copenhagen on an official visit at the invitation of Prime Minister of Denmark, Ms. Mette Frederiksen. This will be Prime Minister's first visit to Denmark, but his 3rd summit-level interaction with the Danish Prime Minister, and the discussions would focus on bilateral issues as well as issues of regional and global interest. Prime Ministers of India and Denmark would later also interact with the business leaders of both countries under the auspices of India-Denmark Business Forum. On May 4th, Prime Minister will participate in the 2nd India-Nordic Summit with the Prime Ministers of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Sweden, and Norway. But prior to the start of the summit, Prime Minister will also hold bilateral summit meetings with the leaders of Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Finland. On his way back from Copenhagen on May 4, Prime Minister will make a brief stopover in Paris, France. France, as you know, is an important partner of India in Europe and also holds currently the EU presidency. As you also know, that President Macron has just won a second term, and the India-France friendship and strategic partnership has seen a great momentum thanks to the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and President Macron, as also their close friendship. To sum up very briefly, as you would have observed also, Prime Minister's first visit in 2022 factors an ambitious and substantial agenda packed into an intense schedule, and will be happy to share the specific details of discussions and the outcomes during Prime Minister's engagement in these three countries as the visit unfolds.
राष्ट्र सर्वप्रथम राष्ट्र सर्वप्रथम राष्ट्र सर्वप्रथम राष्ट्र सर्वप्रथम